Hello everyone, my name is Ann Halsey and I'm a part of the Palo Alto Vineyard Church, and I am adding my voice to the rest of our members who have shared what it has looked like for them to have faith during this current situation. In order to explain where I'm at with this, I have to give a bigger context of what's been going on in my life for the past 6 months. I've been in a difficult season of wrestling with God about what His will is, how I can know it, and how He engages with me as it unfolds. And what prompted this is that in one day I went from being confident that I was hearing God and following His leading, only to have what I thought He was bringing about evaporate the next day. And that instantaneous shift in where I thought my life was headed, it sounds eerily similar to the day-to-day uncertainty and the constant changes that we're now facing. But in the midst of it, I was questioning whether I had heard Him correctly in the first place, and if so, whether He had intentionally hidden this outcome from me so that I would fully engage in whatever personal growth roller coaster He may have been leading me through. And as much as I wanted to trust Him, it was painful to imagine that He had known this was coming, thought it was the best thing for me, and now was just waiting for me to eventually realize that as well. But after many iterations of thinking through this, I don't think that God was standing back with a master plan, strategically coordinating behind my back so that He could engineer some transformative work in my life. I instead believe that He was with me in every moment, fully present and engaged, both in the joy of hope and in the subsequent grief of shattered dreams. And that He will faithfully take this wreckage and do something beautiful in me through it. And so these ideas finally solidified for me in February as I was making a career decision for what to do after I finished my PhD. And the option to go to New Zealand held some potentially difficult aspects, and it was hard to process the fact that a choice that I make now, in hope, might lead to loneliness, insecurity, and disappointment. But that's when I realized that I had just walked through what it looks like to make a decision in faith, watch it blow up in my face, only to discover that God is still present and I am okay. Ironically, that grounded, eyes open view is what let me decide in favor of New Zealand, without any of the residual fear that I tend to struggle with about whether I am making the right decision. So fast forward a month, and here we are in the middle of a pandemic. New Zealand's borders are currently closed, and we don't know when the tide will change or what the world's economy will look like when it does. This may not pan out the way I had anticipated when I chose a postdoc in New Zealand over a potentially more stable local option in San Francisco. But discovering that God is currently and will be present with me in every moment has given me the freedom to stay present in this moment. There's no reason to fret over what might happen in October when we don't know what will happen next week or even tomorrow. If the plans do fall through, God will be present with me, sharing that grief, and He will faithfully take that wreckage and do something beautiful in me through it. And so that's how I'm processing the situation's effect on me, which is currently minuscule compared to what many are facing. But I believe that it applies more generally as well. I believe that God is present with us and is grieved by this situation and the havoc it is wreaking in so many lives. And I believe that He is eager, capable, and invested in using it to bring about redemptive good in the life of anyone who has been affected by it in any way. Thanks.